Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony.
Casey Anthony.
Her grandmother, Cindy Anthony, is frantic because she Casey remains in jail. Calls 911 to report her missing. Then, on December 11th, a break in the case. October 15th, Casey is officially charged with Kaylee's death.
8. At Casey's own admission,
Are found in a garbage bag dumped
10 days later, she walked out of jail.
area near the Anthony home. 8 days later, Kaylee's death.
child had been dead for 6
One of the biggest murder trials in Florida's history. We are the only local TV station there today. My colleague Tiffany Kenny has more live coverage.
Say hi. Say hi.
Whose goddamn white baby is that?
Hi. Hey, what is up, guys? It is your girl Beyonce, and welcome back to my channel. I know, like, we don't even have to talk about it, okay? I've been in school, okay? In the l'école, in the escuela. That l'école has been beating my booty. I just had to focus on that for a little bit. I wanted to introduce this new kind of series on my channel. And if you are familiar with true crime, then you definitely already know what this is. But if you've never seen a true crime thing ever, then I'm here to introduce you into true crime. My camera is actually broken. It's really hard to get this kind of position angle, so if it's a little messed up or whatever, I apologize. Family, hey, if you're watching, hi. Guess what I want for Christmas? Yeah, new lens, please, because mine is just broken. I cannot zoom in, I cannot zoom out. And that is checks inside the little DVD. I don't know if you can see him moving. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, don't forget to comment down below what kind of stories you'd like to see me do next. Today, we're going to be talking about two of the most hated women in America, and I'm so excited. So let's get on into it. I don't really know how to do makeup like that. So if you have any tips for me, you can go ahead. Say what you gotta say. Let me know, because I do the same makeup routine. This one was crazy. Casey Marie Anthony was born to parents Sydney and George Anthony on March 16th, 1986. Other sources said that she was born March 19th, 1986. So it's one of the two. That would make her a Pisces. She was born in Warren, Ohio, living life in Ohio. Around 1989, her parents decided that they were going to move to Orlando, so that's what they did. They moved to Orlando, Florida. She also had a older brother, so just like her parents, and her older brother. Growing up, Casey was pretty chill, you know, close to her family. Didn't really have any issues. She was the kind of girl who told her parents everything. Her dad was actually a cop, and her mother was a home nurse. As Casey started to grow up, a lot of people would say that she had this thing about lying. She would just lie about anything. Shh, la 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 la.
Just la 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 la. Shh, living my life.
But no, she literally lied about anything. She could literally pull your hair. You would see her pull your hair. You'd be like, why'd you pull my hair? And she'd be like, I didn't pull your hair. And you'd be like, okay. See, that was Miss Casey. So in high school, she actually became very distant from her family. She never told her parents who she was hanging out with or what she was doing. She didn't tell them anything. And although she lived with them, they knew nothing about this girl. A lot of people also said that Casey was very boy crazy, so she was always looking for a new boo. She could not be without a man. But her parents never knew who she would date. They didn't know anything about her. Fast forward to Casey's senior year. Days before graduation, her parents wanted to throw her a little party, you know? My girl's graduating. We want to celebrate. When it was time, literally days before the graduation, Cindy, the mom, was like, hey, where's the graduation? Where's the Addie? And Casey could not give her a straight answer. Casey just kept la 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 la. The mom was just like, whatever. So she called the school and she asked the school, where's the graduation? Hello, hi. I was just calling to see where my daughter's graduation is and what time it is at. What's your daughter's name? Casey Anthony? Ooh. We haven't seen Casey in quite some time, and she's actually failing all her classes, and she's actually not graduating. when her parents were like, oh my gosh, like why have you been skipping, Casey was just like, oh, I was confused. Honestly, I just can't even put all the blame on Casey because like her parents believed a lot of her fake lies. Girl was just lying all day, all night. Instead of trying to finish high school, Casey just dropped out altogether and just went on about life. She got a job at Universal Studios. She also met this boy named Jesse something. I don't really know his name. Her life was okay, you know. She was working at Universal Studios. She had a little boyfriend. It was 2005. Casey becomes pregnant. She's 19 at this time. When she became pregnant, she actually told a friend that she wanted to give the baby up for adoption. Casey just went on about life. She did not tell her parents about the pregnancy. She was afraid, I guess, so she did not tell her parents, and she just went on for a good 7 months. And then 7 months was when she finally decides to tell her parents, because I mean, she was a petite girl, so it was easy for her to hide her pregnancy. She would just like wear baggy clothes and stuff. At 7 months, you cannot hide anymore. So she finally tells her parents. And when she tells her parents, she tells them that she's thinking of putting the baby up for adoption. And the parents are just like, immediately no. Immediately no.
Cause I don't care.
Yeah, immediately no. Immediately no. Immediately no. Like, instantly, I was like, yeah, no.
Her parents honestly ended up forbidding her. August 9th, 2005, Kaylee Marie Anthony is born in Orlando, Florida to Casey. But everyone just kind of assumed that Jesse was the dad. Even Jesse assumed that he was the dad. But later on down this road, he found out that that was not the case, but we'll get to that in a second. Kaylee's born and everything. She's working at Universal. She has this boo, and he actually ended up proposing to her because, you know, they had Kaylee, and he thinks Kaylee is his. Miss Mams was busy. She hired a nanny at this point because she was working. She said the nanny's name was XANNY. XANNY. Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. So her parents were like, okay, where'd you find XANNY? What kind of name is that? She said that her co-worker, Jeffrey Hopkins was his name, apparently introduced her to his ex-girlfriend, Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, and he paid for her, Zenaida, to watch both his kids, Zach Hopkins and Kaylee. Children are expensive. So like I said before, Jesse had found that Kaylee was not his daughter after they took a paternity test. He still was trying to be a father, stay with Casey. Later down the line, like May, he just kind of was over it because he says that Casey's behavior was getting more crazy. So he broke off the engagement. Her parents never really pressed her to know who Kaylee's dad was. There was a point in time where Casey said that Kaylee's dad actually died in a car accident. Girl, where do you come up with this stuff? Just give it a break. You don't even have to, sometimes you don't have to open your mouth, you know. After the breakup between Jesse and Casey, it was a little while. Casey was just like, I'm ready to get back out there, okay? So she begins dating again, and she meets this boyfriend named Tony, and he was trying to become a DJ. What a great profession. He was this DJ, this, you know, wannabe DJ, and she was just like, yes, yes. And she would take Kaylee to his apartment many times. He also had a bunch of other roommates. I think that's kind of weird to bring your little girl around all these roommates. She did, and she still lived at home with her parents. Her grandparents, no, excuse me, her parents, Casey's parents, took very good care of Kaylee. They gave her her own room, which was Winnie the Pooh themed. They fed her, they clothed her, you know, did whatever they could. Yeah, Kaylee was pretty well taken care of when Casey was not around. On June 15th, 2008, according to Casey, there was a huge family argument which led to Casey packing up her things and saying she was going on a work-related trip to Tampa, Florida, and she was taking Kaylee with her. She leaves. One fact we know is that June was the last time Kaylee was seen.
June 16th, 2008. It is the last day that little 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony is seen alive.
She claimed she was going on a work trip in Tampa, Florida, but in reality, she left her boyfriend's house with Kaylee, and she actually showed up with just her, not with Kaylee. Anywho, anytime she was asked about Kaylee, she was just always somewhere else. She always had an excuse. She'd just be like, oh, Kaylee is here, Kaylee's with the nanny, Kaylee's sleeping, da, da, da. At this time, Casey was living it up. Miss Mams was partying up with her DJ boyfriend, going out to clubs, going to the bars, dancing on bar tops, you know, getting tattoos that say Bella Vita, which means beautiful life. She was just, you know, and she was posting all of this on MySpace, so she was just like, yes, living my best life, living my best life, best life. I don't know, that's probably what she was doing. And she also had a journal, a little diary, and she wrote in this diary, quote, I completely trust my own judgment and I knew I made the right decision. This is the happiest I've ever been in a very long time. I hope that my happiness will continue to grow. Yeah, okay, cool. But where was Kaylee? No one seems to know where she is. Her parents gave her Casey a car. They gave her their car. Casey claimed that she mainly used the car for work and stuff. One day, Casey was going to this cash checking place and Miss Ma'am made it on Jesus. She made it to the check cashing place on prayer. Fumes, like zero. Her gas was zero, nothing. She got there and the car stopped. She goes and she cashes her check, but this is like all the money she has, so she was not about to spend it on a tow truck to take her car to a gas station. So she was just like, just gonna leave it there. So she left it there and she just dipped, and that was it. The check cashing place was seeing this car every day. They're like, oh my god, this car has been here for a little hot minute. Let's just call the towing company and just get it out of here. And that's what they do. They call the towing company. The company comes and they tow the car, and then they call the owner of the car, which is George Anthony. And they're like, hey, we have your car. And George is confused because he knows he gave Casey his car. Why did she abandon this car? Where is she? What is she doing? Is she okay? So he goes over there, he pays the fees, and the guy takes him out to the car. He gives George the keys, and George opens the door, and he says that they smell something just, oof, something just, something not fun. It just did not smell good. And the worker was like, smells like a dead body. George takes the car home. I don't even know how he drove in that stench. Ew, imagine. Windows down. He drove the car home and he was like, Cindy, Casey's mom, come smell this car. And she smells the car and she is just like, woof, what is that? They open the trunk and they see a trash bag, and Cindy says that they didn't open the trash bag, they just threw it away. She used an entire bottle of Febreze on the car and then left the doors open to air out the scent because it was so nasty. Okay, keep up with me now. Cindy is just wanting answers because she hasn't seen Kaylee in a month. She hasn't seen her daughter in a month. She's like, it's been a month. I'm over this. Casey, where you at? Casey did not answer. She just knew that Casey was at her boyfriend's house, and so that is where Miss Cindy headed. She headed out to Casey's boyfriend's house. So she gets there and she's inside, and she says that all she sees is drugs. It's drugs, and it's literally the morning, super high in the morning. Y'all didn't even brush your teeth yet and y'all already getting high. The mom is just like, where the heck is Kaylee? Casey's just like, oh, she's with XANNY. She's just like, who is the XANNY? I need to meet her. Let's go pick Kaylee up. What's the address? I'll go get her. Where's my granddaughter? I want to see her. The mother's asking all these questions and Casey's just like annoyed, like upset that her mom is like embarrassing her in front of her boyfriend. Oh my gosh, mom, you're embarrassing me in front of my DJ boyfriend. Oh my god.
This is so humiliating.
The mom calls the police on Casey, and the mom actually called the police like 3 different times this day. The first time was, so the quote was, "There's a possible missing child. I have a 3-year-old girl who I haven't seen for a month," end quote. That was the first call. Now the second call was because Casey, so they're home, right? Casey is talking to her brother. She's telling him like, yo, so basically XANNY took Kaylee. I went to drop her off at the park. When I gave Kaylee over to Zenaida, she grabbed her and like pushed me away and was like, "I'm taking Kaylee forever." Cindy hears this. Cindy, the mom, literally hears this, and she's just like, oh my god. And she calls the police, of course. She demands to speak to an officer. She said that her granddaughter has been kidnapped by her babysitter and has been missing for a month.
I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing. We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. I need to find her.
And on the phone, she also had mentioned that she found her daughter's car today and that it smelled like a dead body. Interesting. So the officer asked to speak with Casey. Casey did not want to talk to them, and the mother was pushing Casey to talk on the phone. Come on, this is your kid. Why aren't you more concerned? So Casey finally takes the phone. The dispatcher asked her, does she know who took
Casey Anthony says a babysitter kidnapped her daughter.
her daughter? And she's like, yes, her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. She took her and she said she wasn't giving her back. When your child is missing, you're giving details unasked. Casey was very calm on the phone, and she was not giving any information unless the dispatcher pushed her to say something. It took her a minute to get anything out of Casey's just like, yeah, Zenaida took her. Casey was just really annoyed and irritated that her mom was just being so dramatic. Your kid is missing and your mom is frantic that her granddaughter is missing and you're just chilling. That's your kid. I guess everyone's different. But when the police showed up, Casey took them to the place where she last dropped off Kaylee. They get to the apartment. She says that this is the apartment that she dropped Kaylee off, and she actually starts giving a description of Zenaida. And she said that Zenaida was from New York. She was mixed, half Puerto Rican and half black, and that she was 25, 5'7", 140 pounds, had perfect teeth, and was a 10. Who says that? This lady took your kid and you're gonna say she's a 10? What do you mean she's a 10? I hope I mentioned that she had black hair. She said that XANNY was a co-worker, but like, as I said in the beginning, she told her parents that XANNY was the next girlfriend of a co-worker. But she tells police that XANNY was a co-worker and that she was here going to the University of Florida, that she was born in September, all this stuff. Police are at this apartment, right? And they knock on the door and there's no answer. So they look in and stuff and they're just like, okay, I don't think anyone's here. They go to the landlords and ask the landlords if they can pull records of who lived there. The landlord said that nobody had lived there for months. They asked for surveillance of that day so that they could see the whole exchange of Kaylee, Casey, and XANNY. Not a single one of them was found in that surveillance. Not the Zenaida girl that Casey's described, not Casey, not Kaylee. No one of the sort passed the camera, passed the surveillance camera. So at this point, police were just like, nah, this girl is lying. They started to look into Casey just a little bit more. Casey had told them that she worked at Universal Studios, but with a little bit of digging, they found that Casey did not work at Universal Studios. She did work there for a little bit, but she was fired way long ago before any of this had ever happened. They knew that Casey didn't work there, but they wanted to, you know, see what was up. So they were like, okay, take us to your office. She takes them. She walks into Universal, past security, past everything, just walk in there like she just is working there. She's like, yeah, I work here. And after 25 minutes, 30 minutes of walking, she just like turns around and she's just like, I don't work here. They arrest Miss Casey. She was charged with child neglect and providing false information to authority. Silly goose. Ooh, what color should I do as my main? Ooh, let me get my other palette, guys. Oh, I'm such a guru. When Casey was in custody, her parents visited her on maybe 9 days after she was taken in. When she was like in there, every time they asked her any information about Kaylee, she would just be like very dismissive. When her parents would mention people like trying to help her, she'd be like very dismissive of them too. There was girl like mentioned, I think her name was like Tara, and Casey was like,
Tara's like the worst person to help us.
and then she also said something about her best friend too. Like, I was just like, girl. Ooh, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna do this like nice little champagne color. Yeah, get into it. She said that they're pretty, like the people that her parents were mentioning, she was just claiming that they're unreliable and that they can't help us get Kaylee back. So the only honest time that Casey was being for real was when she told her parents that Kaylee was not far. It's like the only truth she told. At this time, she hired this lawyer named Jose Baez. She was denied bail at first, but he was able to like write this letter and be like, Casey's willing to cooperate, and he was able to get her bail. So she is bailed from jail and put on this monitoring device. So where's Kaylee, right? Like, we're all wondering, like, where's the little girl? Cindy had actually taken back her statement earlier on about the whole smelling of the dead body and tried to play it as,
no, it was just rotting pizza. No, I never said it smelled like a dead body. I said
Rotting pizza, silly goose.
When they took the car in for testing, they brought in dogs who specialize in smelling decomposed bodies, and the dogs, they take the dogs to the car and immediately they're barking like crazy. And then in the trunk was some small staining, and it was like in the shape of a small body. Also, they found, oh, what did they find? They found that, okay, so they brought the carpet in like from the trunk for testing, and they found that the carpet had signs of decomposing bodies. They also found hair with the dead bands, meaning like when you die, like your hair has this band when your body's like decomposing. Yeah, it's crazy, y'all. On December 11, 2008, a utility man was out working, you know, doing his job, and he just sees this little thingy on the road. He's like, Kisasa. Oh, I forget that. Not everyone speaks Creole. But he was like, what is this? He was like, is that a skull? And he called the police. He called the police because he saw it was a skull. And when he called the first time, like, no one really took him seriously, and they were like, yeah, we'll go check it out, but like no one really checked it out. So he went again, and he was like, he went up close. He was like, ain't no way, boy.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no.
He goes there again, and he like literally gets closer, and he's like, no, like this is a dead body. So he calls police again, and a team actually finally goes out there, and what they find is a skull, and the skull had duct tape on the nose, the mouth, and like the face. And they also found a trash bag no, not a trash bag, but a bag next to it, and it was like some type of laundry type of bag. So it was like a white laundry bag. They found that, and inside of that were like bones, like the rest of the remains, a Winnie the Pooh blanket, and yeah. So they took in the remains for testing, and they found on December 19th, 2008, police confirmed that the remains were of Kaylee Marie Anthony. After confirming that it was Kaylee Marie Anthony, Casey Marie Anthony was charged with first-degree murder and arrested, of course. Now, if you guys don't know what first degree, like the difference between the murder, like first degree, second degree, and third degree, first degree murder is premeditated. Second degree murder is like a spur of the moment type of thing. And in some states, like Florida, there is actually a third degree murder, and that is basically like murder by accident. So Casey was charged with first degree murder. because that's what she deserves, Miss Little Crazy. So during the trial, the defense, meaning the people that were for Casey, basically they just blamed everyone and was trying to really just make the jury sympathize with Casey. They started saying that her dad was touching her when she was younger and that's where she learned to lie like this and stuff like that. And they just kept bringing up her dad and stuff. The prosecution, which is like against Casey, they were trying to argue based off of like facts and evidence and stuff like that. But this whole trial was like a mess because like after that, like it was just like the defense sympathized, you know, and stuff, and then ruling out all these applications. Actually, during the trial, they actually brought in, remember the Jeffrey guy, the co-worker who apparently introduced Casey to this Zenaida girl? They brought him in for questioning, and I'll show you the clip right now, guys.
Did you ever work at Universal Studios?
I did.
Did you ever work there at the same time that Casey Anthony worked there?
I don't think so.
You don't recall ever seeing her there?
Never.
Did you ever introduce Casey Anthony to a woman by the name of Zenaida Gonzalez?
I did not.
Did you ever use Zenaida Gonzalez as a nanny?
No, sir.
Do you have any children?
No, sir.
Now, I know everybody here probably remembers this moment. On July 5th, 2011, the verdict to the first count of first-degree murder, Casey Marie Anthony was found not guilty. Not guilty. In the verdict to the second count of aggravated child abuse, Miss Casey Anthony was found not guilty. In the verdict of the third count of manslaughter of a child, Miss Casey Marie Anthony was found not guilty. I have no words, guys. I have no words. So Casey was literally only sentenced to 1 year in prison, but like she had already served 3 years prior, plus her good behavior. So she was out by July 7th. The trial was on June 5th, 2011. So she got out of jail July 7th, 2011. So she served 1 month in prison. Now I'm pretty sure Casey's like a PI or something, and you know, she's out here living life, and she just, you know, doesn't care about what anybody has to say about her because yeah, she's just great. And that is the horrible, terrible story of Miss Casey. Now moving on to our next story, we have Miss Baby, are you down, 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 down? Baby, are you down, down, down?